So I want to first add the disclaimer that the quality of the microphone on this may not be good because it's very hot. I'm very sorry about that. First, I must highly recommend that you go and watch the first part about Melissa Backleer before you watch this, because you may not understand quite what I'm getting at with this. So I'm not really sure where to even begin because there is so much information. I want to read this off. It says, does Miss Backleer save dogs? The short answer is yes. It is similar to money laundering. Mix dirty money with clean money. Same process is used at Wagmore. They mix legitimate dogs that require rescue in with paid-for puppies. Does Wagmore save dogs? That is the most difficult part of this. However, that doesn't excuse the reckless conduct that has been alleged. Wagmore is not a rescue partner with LA County Animal Care and Control. Why this matters? It means that the majority of their dogs are not from high-kill animal shelters and do not have poll rights as approved rescues within the county system. This is highly irregular within the rescue community. Something we touched on a little bit before was Melissa using Craigslist to buy dogs for Wagmore. You can see in these screenshots that it's proven that Melissa is using multiple sites to buy dogs from and then upcharges the price. It's insane. There's so many dogs. And it's very clear that she does not see them as individual lives. Melissa also adopted out an 8-week-old puppy with parvo, and that puppy did not survive, and they ended up passing away. And when the adopter spoke out on social media, Wagmore sent a cease and desist and then reported adopters to animal control for animal cruelty. This is actually insane, delusional, fucking psychotic behavior. I don't even know where to begin to touch on it. She reported them because they spoke the truth about her nasty business. The whole reason the dogs died was because of her, and she is now trying to blame them and get them in trouble for it. That is, holy shit. How insane is that? Melissa has been sued in the past for negligence and fraud, and 6 plaintiffs have sued her because 5 to 6 dogs have died. Here are some of the court papers.
Plaintiffs herein bring this suit for fraud, emotional distress, unfair business practices, negligence, and related causes of action based on 1 Maltipoo puppy named Thumper, 2 miniature Schnauzer puppies named Kobe and Walter, 1 St. Bernard mixed puppy named Dakota, and 1 Chihuahua puppy named Oliver that were quote-unquote adopted from defendants. Defendants operate a single enterprise whereby they advertise, market, and facilitate the quote-unquote rescue and adoption of dogs from shelters. However, defendants do not rescue all of their dogs from shelters. Plaintiffs are informed and believe thereon that some, if not all, of defendants' designer and/or pure breed puppies are obtained by paying money to third parties, i.e. backyard breeders or puppy brokers. These puppies are then immediately flipped for a profit without proper procedures and protocols that ensure their health and safety. Paying money to backyard breeders or puppy brokers in exchange for puppies violates Section 53-73, Article 3, Chapter 5 of the Los Angeles Municipal Code, which prohibits the sale of commercially bred dogs in retail businesses or other establishments in the city of Los Angeles. The ultra-vires act of the purchasing of puppies from third parties like backyard breeders or puppy brokers is in contravention of nonprofit public benefit corporation, defendant, the Wilder Foundation's Articles of Incorporation. That state, the specific purpose of this corporation is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome unwanted dogs from the kill shelters in Los Angeles County. As president and vice president respectively, defendants Melissa Backleer and Gail Backleer were undoubtedly aware they were violating their own articles of incorporation by purchasing puppies from backyard breeders or puppy brokers. In fact, any quote-unquote rescue from sources other than high-kill shelters in Los Angeles County would constitute a knowing violation of the nonprofit public benefit corporation's articles of incorporations and bylaws. Each of the plaintiffs' Green, Fairbanks, and Wright's puppies obtained from defendants were diagnosed with the deadly parvovirus days after leaving defendants' care and are now deceased, despite plaintiffs each spending thousands of dollars attempting to save the puppies' lives. Seth and Yasmin Waskow's puppy was diagnosed with the deadly parvovirus days after leaving defendants' care, was hospitalized, and survives the disease. Although plaintiffs Green, Fairbanks, and Wright complained about the puppy's health to defendants ignored their complaints, dismissing the illness and ultimately blamed plaintiffs for their puppies' deaths. Defendants further repeatedly, intentionally, and fraudulently stated to plaintiffs on numerous occasions that they knew of no other puppies that had been previously in defendant's care and control that had contracted any illness, including the deadly parvovirus. Defendants made these false representations while being fully aware that their other puppies that had been in their care in April and June 2015 had died of the virus. Plaintiff Warner's puppy had a diagnosable illness that required immediate hospitalization after adoption, that ultimately led to the puppy's death. Defendants repeatedly, intentionally, and fraudulently stated to plaintiffs Seth and Yasmin Wasco on numerous occasions that they had known of no other puppies that had been previously in defendant's care and control that had contracted any illness, including the deadly parvovirus. Defendants made these false representations while being fully aware that their other puppies that had been in their care in April and June 2015 had died of the virus. Defendants further made these statements to plaintiffs knowing that there was already a lawsuit pending against them for similar conduct after more puppies died of the deadly parvovirus in September 2017. Defendants repeatedly, intentionally, and fraudulently concealed their knowledge of the ill and dead puppies from each individual plaintiff. This lawsuit seeks to put an end to the illegal, intentional, and despicable false advertising, as well as deceptive and unfair business practice violations committed by defendants against person who quote-unquote adopted puppies from defendants within the state of California. Defendants' business policies and practices consist of systematic, intentional, and/or negligent misrepresentations to the public by posting public notices throughout the state of California claiming that their puppies are quote-unquote rescued, when, in fact, defendants collude to purchase puppies from third parties, i.e., backyard breeders or puppy brokers, while only saving a bare minimum amount from high-kill shelters. Defendants further unlawfully utilize the nonprofit public benefit corporation, the Wilder Foundation, to facilitate their fraud.
Reading this one off, it says, communication between Miss Backlear and adopters. 5 of the 6 died. Miss Backlear pretends she knows nothing of it, tries to blame it on adopter, denies any of the other puppies in the litter are sick. However, she knows of another death and uses the terminal medical condition to raise donations. Here are some of the screenshots.
The text exchange reads as follows. I'm just really stumped, T. The person then replies with, Vet said no chance it came from my house. He had it prior, so why only him? Totally stumped. Melissa texts back saying, right, he probably got it from the breeder, I guess. Or maybe one of the dogs at the store was a carrier. But why just him? The person then says, I have no freaking clue. And he was with you for 7 days before I adopted. Other puppies would be sick too. Maybe breeder vaccinated to get rid of them fast, lied about their age, and it didn't take on Kobe. There are 5 other litter mates he didn't bring to you. Maybe they were sick. The next text exchange plays out like this. It's likely we are going to lose him. Melissa replies saying, OMG, I can't believe this. Please send a picture so I can help you pay for this. This isn't relevant to the fraud, but the person details to Melissa how they informed another person and quickly raced to the vet before sending Melissa the photos she requested. Melissa then states, I'm going to do a write-up tonight. I will post and ask for donations. The person replies saying, we are going to lose him. I just walked through the doors and the doctor called. His blood pressure dropped, his breathing is labored, and discharge is coming out of his nose. Melissa replies saying, oh no, Kimberly, this is horrible. The person who we now know as Kimberly replies stating, this is worse than horrible. It's my most feared nightmare after having lost Sasha less than 2 months ago. I've depleted my entire rescue fund I used to foster and donate, and I now have to either euthanize, let him arrest because his body can't take the treatment, or remove care and have him die naturally. Next, we see an email exchange between the Greens and Melissa. Melissa states, Kathy, I am just so sorry this is happening. You have been through so much, and adopting a puppy should only bring joy to a family. This is a horrible situation. Parvovirus takes up to 10 days and as little as 2 to show up in a puppy, and we take every precaution we can with our pups. In 11 years of rescuing and rehabilitating dogs, this is the first time a dog that I have adopted out has come down with parvo. When you adopted her, she was playful, eating, and had solid poop, and was in every way a healthy puppy. I would never adopt out a puppy I thought may be ill. We hold the puppies for 10 days before we adopt them out, but with such a highly contagious disease, at any time, they can be infected. We do not let the puppies go near our older dogs in case they are carriers, and we do not let people touch them without scouting. I am praying that she pulls through at the vet and will live a long and happy life, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut her off right the fuck there, because we know from personal experience with Joey Graceffa's participation through Wagmore that she's lying here. Joey constantly interacts with the puppies. He brings them outside. He lets them interact with both his adult dogs and the mother dog. He never once separates them, and he uploads this all for us to see. These pups are then sent back to Wagmore and delivered to their adoptees. Melissa is lying. Despite this, Mrs. Green responds saying this: I contacted the credit card company just now and advised them that the Wilder Foundation sold me a diseased dog on August 30th, 2015. Since the symptoms of parvovirus take up to 10 days, demand is hereby made that the Wilder Foundation refund my contribution in its entirety. Secondly, as a result of this gross oversight, I have incurred veterinarian expenses in the thousands of dollars and would like the foundation to assist with these expenses. Not only is the puppy sick, she infected our other dog, which resulted in over $500 in veterinary bills. At this time, the puppy is expected to be in urgent care for a minimum of 3 days. If she makes it through the night, there is no way we can afford these bills. Nor did we adopt this puppy with the intent of being liable for medical expenses due to your foundation's neglect. Lastly, some raw food product were purchased from your store, which made my other dog ill, and per your recommendations, I allowed my son to taste the raw goat's milk, and now he is ill. I have made many calls to you with this information, and at no time have you offered anything. In our brief calls, your foundation has refused to take any responsibility for this matter. Not only is our new puppy's life at stake, all the other puppies you held with her are most likely infected. Our vet has advised us to report this matter to the Better Business Bureau, as well as the CDC and the Increasing Board. Our vet is willing to speak to you at any time regarding these issues, as well as supporting the assertions contained in this email. Please contact me so we can resolve these issues, as they are extremely urgent.
Don't puppies and puppy mills need saving too? What's wrong with that? Yes, all dogs deserve good homes. The problem with buying dogs from puppy mills and backyard breeders is that it creates a market demand, therefore incentivizing the puppy mill operators through profit. This does not solve the root problem, it exacerbates it. Plus, it's downright dirty, predatory behavior. Moving on to Q's story, allegedly Wagmore euthanized Q. Q was imported from China. She was difficult to place in a home and needed behavioral training. Instead, Wagmore euthanized her. What steps do you try to help resolve her anxiety issues before putting her to sleep? In the class action lawsuit, Melissa Backleer allegedly euthanized Q but continued to raise donations for her care after she had been killed. Melissa was also involved in a lawsuit relating to the inadequate medical care provided to her dogs. Ms. Backleer provides medical care in her home in lieu of having dogs see a licensed veterinarian. Defendants utilize the veterinary services of Somis Veterinary Hospital. Somis employs an individual named Brittany Dela Cruz. Dela Cruz is not a licensed veterinarian. Defendants also pay Dela Cruz to provide services to defendants. Dela Cruz is the medical coordinator for Wagmore Pets nonprofit, but oftentimes defendants elect to have Dela Cruz provide medical care in lieu of actually having the dog see a licensed veterinarian. Melissa Backleer focuses on good press and media. She loves the spotlight. This is not necessarily a bad thing. However, she falsifies the rescue backstories, takes credit for other people's hard manual labor, and just shows up with news crews and camera. Melissa Backleer herself has stated that she is not a rescue, but a business, but in another breath says that her rescue fees are higher because she is not a government-run shelter. This should tell you enough about her intentions with this business. She is not here to rescue dogs. She is here to make money, and that is not good. That is the biggest red flag I have ever heard from a quote-unquote animal rescue. And the fact that you have celebrities and YouTubers working with them, that's promoting it to young children audiences, it's disgusting. Melissa likes to say that these dogs are going to be euthanized, but they're not. She does this for a false sense of urgency to increase donations. Melissa really likes to try to distance herself from Lucky Puppy, but she kind of fails to recognize that that's a company that she started, that went on to abuse and neglect dogs and let them die. Whether or not she left, that was her company, and she is now doing the same exact things with Wagmore. So how are we supposed to believe that, not that she's involved, but that she doesn't condone these same practices in her own companies? You distance yourself because that is you. You do the same things and you taught them. That's why you grouped up with them in the first place. That's why they were part of your company. Like, be real. And there is so much more information on the website. I highly urge you to check it out. I genuinely can't cover it all because I don't even know where to begin. I'm not educated enough to touch on this topic, but I hope people can spread this video to get other people to touch on it, because it needs to be talked about. And I hope somebody who is more educated can put the information out in a way that's more digestible. Thank you for listening.
A short list of celebrities and influencers who have promoted Wagmore. These people have all been tricked into believing they're supporting an animal rescue, and that's extremely sick behavior from Melissa. This is so many people that she is attempting to use the name of to evade suspicion on whether or not she's a legitimate business.